So
okay, so now that we've established we're gonna watch the show,
I want to watch the show.
what are you the most excited about? What from the trailer did you see and you were like, that's I'm a hype.
I have never read the books, right? So we talked about that. So I don't know what additional details were from the books that were not in the movies.
Got it.
I really like the movies. I fuck with the movies. I watch them every year. Christmas time, holiday time. I'll watch it. But I don't know what they missed out on in the movies, because I like the movies and I never read the books. But I am interested to see how they'll play Snape, like how he'll play Snape.
That's the big sticking point.
And that's, I know everybody wants to see that, just because obviously, well, they made him black in this particular rendition, but from my knowledge, they never made him not black in the book.
Yeah, they never specify in the book. Excuse me.
They also kind of
race.
And for me personally, from the all of Harry Potter to me was just a reference back to, like white supremacy. Like it's like referring back to Hitler and like how like Voldemort is supposed to be Hitler purifying the race and shit like that. So to me, as much as like people are like, oh well, it's gonna change. She was a half-blood too, so I don't know what the fuck you mean by so like, but exactly. And so like by saying all of that, I'm like, well, to me, the books were always political, and the movies were always political because J.K. Rowling made it political. Like she, and I looked it up like this season when I was watching him. Because I mentioned it to my man. He was like, I don't know if it was about that. And I looked it up and she was like, yeah, for sure was. I used him as an inspiration. This is the reason 100%. Why I made it like this. Like the reason why the Malfoys are blonde and blue-eyed and white are because they're supposed to be the symbol of what the perfect, most like...
The pure race,
Pure race is supposed to look like, right? And so because they were the ones...
even in Crimes of Grindelwald, whenever he's whenever they're talking about that, that's specifically set closer to World War II.
Yes. And so like to me, adding in the element that he is black in the, like that there's race involved now, apart from also it being like a like wizarding race and not wizarding race or whatever. I think that they added a complexity to it that's gonna, if they do it right, it's gonna be really cool to be able to see that, to be able to see.
Well, he gets bullied. His arc, his story arc is that he gets bullied as a kid, not specifically for being black, but for being like introverted and like nerdy and like just uncool in general. And I think maybe the fact that he's a half blood, because maybe, but I don't remember that detail. However, I also don't think it's as problematic because in Fantastic Beasts they established the fact that there was black people that were purebloods.
Yes.
Like, Zoe Kravitz's character is Bellatrix's like great aunt or some shit like that. Like tree, so like there's already a established history of black people being purebloods.
Well, yeah, and the other guy too.
Yeah. So I'm like, Africa, I'm not sure exactly. I think there's a lot of American projection whenever it comes to that. Like American history projection goes into that, where they say like you're gonna inject this element of race in a way where people are gonna insert their own ideas of race into him getting bullied as a black man, this and that. It changes everything. However, all I will say is that Britain's history is different than American's history with race.
That's why I want to.
Still problematic. But
it's still problematic.
It's just different.
It's just not. It's not. It wasn't as staining as America's history with the black narrative.
I wouldn't say it's not a staining. It just doesn't provoke the same imagery.
That's what I'm saying.
If I think about
when people think about America's bloodiest stain, they think of slavery. And they don't think about that in
right.
England.
If I think about a Mississippi sharecropper, I have very specific images in my head of Jim Crow, of lynching, and then it bleeds into the civil rights movement.
Because like as much as Britain or like the United Kingdom and all of them like. This began all of that stuff like America fucking ran with it, like America fucking went gung-ho on that hoe, so like it was very, very different. And I think that's why I want to see it, because I want to make sure, I want to see that they don't make it about that.
Right.
I want it to be very like, I think it would be really, really good to like very much say, because I mean, mind you, like they still have a lot of like Muggle influence and like a lot of the stuff that happens there. So to completely disregard the fact that in the Muggle world there might have been a racial component to it. At least other people might have seen it that way that didn't know anything about wizards, might have seen it that way, that might have been experiencing certain situations outside of the wizarding world. Like, I feel like that would be really, really cool.
But in the wizarding community, they might be like, bro, we don't give a fuck that you're black.
I give a fuck that you have.
We give a fuck that your daddy was a muggle.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't give a shit about, bro, what? Ain't nobody looking at your skin color, dude.
Yeah.
But your daddy, though.
But your daddy. And so, like, those things to me, I feel like
but
they would
it might
do really
be
well.
cool. Like, they could probably just nip it in the bud right there. They could have like a 30-second scene where they're like, bro, we don't give a fuck that you're black. However, your dad was a dentist.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be real easy to just cover all that. Like, we're not making fun of you because you got dreads, my guy. We're making fun of you because your dad could hold a wooden stick and make little lights come out of it.
I really, really think that it would be cool. I also want to see his rendition of Snape, because obviously in the filming of Harry Potter, correct me if I'm wrong, because the books were still coming out as the movies were also coming out.
Yes.
Nobody knew
except for him.
Snape was,
except for Alan Rickman.
Yes, and so the fact that like he played that way, and then when everybody finds out, they kind of look back at everything he did, and they're like, "Wait, there's like a double meaning. There was like a double entendre to that."
Such a badass.
I feel like that cannot get replicated anymore, right? Because everybody knows.
Everybody's
and so you as an actor have to go into it knowing all of this information that everybody already knows, and it doesn't have the same impact as it did when Alan did it. So I think that can kind of lift off a lot of the like expectations of him having to do stuff certain way,
maybe,
and can just let him just be the Snape asshole that he was during a lot of it, and where he's just like acting like a dick for a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like
in the books he's meaner to Harry.
Exactly.
Than in the movies.
Yeah.
In the books he's like a
fucking asshole.
Like a big asshole to Harry.
Yeah.
And Hermione.
Yeah.
Specifically too. Like he's really bad in the books sometimes. To the point where like if you read the books, it's really hard to not think about him as a very evil character. And it's also really difficult in the books to not look at him as some like fucking incel. Because in the books it's like, my guy. So yes, I get it, dude. She was nice to you one time by a tree, and that shit it, like left a fucking impression on you. I get it, dude. And good for you, bro, that you can experience love in that kind of a way.
Yeah.
But also, like, it was 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. And she's dead.
Yeah.
Go get some pussy, dog. Like, go talk to some magical bitches and try to get your rocks off. You don't have to be stuck on this bullshit. And she married another, and she had a kid. Dog. You're on creepy status.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So in the books, it's a lot easier to judge him for that. Whereas in the movies, it gets kind of glossed over. Like he was always the protector and that he was always there. And he was, because like in the books, she kind of makes it clear like Lily was like, I don't fuck with you like that, dude.
Yeah.
Like get the fuck over it. Like I like this dude. And Harry's dad wasn't necessarily the nicest either. He gets painted in the movies as this like
super
he's just
stand-up guy or whatever,
and charismatic and the leader of Gryffindor and all this shit.
He was an
ass too.
Yeah.
He's like Gryffindors and Slytherins have a lot in common in that regard, and most of the purebloods are in Gryffindor and Slytherin because those are the two like rivalry houses or whatever. But like Harry's dad wasn't necessarily a fucking saint either, so people tend to glorify Harry's dad as this like, you know what I mean?
I want to see
like, in a lot of ways he was kind of like the Brad and Chad. He's like the tech bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like the Brad and Chad tech bro guy that like comes from a pure blood family, got everything that he's ever
a trust
wanted.
Baby. Yeah.
In some ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I very specifically want to see their rendition of his parents, because I think that they didn't go into it that much in the movies, but I feel like there's a lot to be said about the way that his parents were and what he does, like how he finds out that his parents weren't actually as like stand up as, you know, maybe everybody has believed because of the fact that they basically died as like martyrs of. So like I feel like adding in the rendition that there's complexity to the fact that they could have also been, they were killed in a very, you know, grotesque way, but also they weren't the fucking greatest people always, well, especially when they were younger. And like I want to see that development because they tie in Snape into it a lot. I want to see that.
You might see that development